there is that movement, that change, but I cannot grasp it sometimes. But I feel like in myself and in others there's something. I used to say like maybe there's a trance there, people are getting entranced, but no, I've every time I meet my friends here, there's something that's changed. I just don't know what. Some people can figure it out. I can't figure it out. So and also like when you say look back, I look back at level 1. I'm like, it was very dark for me, level 1.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm like more confident, more friendly, open up. I can speak to Robert more. I used to be like more scared. And so from what, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I see things.
So what made you stay though? What made you stay here? You could have quit first round.
What made me stay is the system really makes sense for me, and I'm gonna stick to it until there's evidence for me that it's really working, and until I see it. And I know it will. I'm just keeping at it.
Now, so hold on. So that it will. What will?
Well, I will reach to. I feel like I want to reach a tipping point.
Okay.
Where I get the thinking system. I know what's happening within me and within others. I'm getting there slowly, getting smarter and smarter.
So why did you stay? What made you stay?
What made me stay?
What kept you coming back? Because you could have quit. You could have just, after level 1, level 2, you quit. But there was something that kept you here. What was it?
Partly it's package, yeah. It's
a package deal.
I'll tell you what it is. I have this pattern in me of I go into a system or modality, and then I become impatient, and then I drop out.
Mm-hmm.
And with this one, I felt like it's just the teaching, like it kind of negates the teaching, the premises that if I'm gonna now drop out, it's because of me. It's not because of the system. So it's very weird. It's like a catch for me. So I'm sticking with it because I know whatever.
So actually, you're put responsible.
Yeah,
and you were blaming the system before.
Yeah. Now, like I know if I'm gonna quit the system, I'm gonna be very fair to the system and to myself. I want to see, and I'm saying like, yeah, my own. So I ask myself like, how do you know that this system is not, or things aren't working? And then I figure like, oh, this is a pattern that I have. This is a program, and it's very clear. Not that I clear it right away, but so yeah.
So maybe a part of this too, you discovered yourself.
It's self-discovery. This whole thing for me is self-discovery. More than working on clients and the thrill of having successes with clients.
Now, how many of you guys had a session with this guy? He's good, isn't he?
Yeah. Yes.
Very good. Very good. So again, what made you stay?
I didn't answer it.
I don't know. You didn't really say. What is it that made you stay? Is it because she's still learning, or what is it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's big part of it is it's still learning.
Okay.
I'm still learning a lot.
Okay.
And the more I come to seminars, the more I feel like, oh, there is lots of mastery here, even self-mastery with this course. So it doesn't end with level 4 really.
No, there's a lot more than what you hadn't got yet.
Yeah, and I mean I've heard lots of stories of success stories, physical healings, emotional healings, and I like to pick people's brains, those who've healed, and the practitioners that worked with them. I just like getting inside their mind and understanding how they do things.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's like a vacation to me.
It's like a vacation.
Family reunion, no, but
Well, it probably is a family reunion
yeah,
too.
it really is. Yeah, and I'm just so happy that there's so many of us here, and I don't know, just like Omar. I mean, there was so many testimonials, and you see so many testimonials on YouTube, and then you experience it for yourself, because I mean, whenever I came first to level 1, I mean, I was in a lot of pain, and I didn't even realize that I was not having pain until I got home, and it was like weeks later. I was like, I don't have this pain in my feet or my legs, or it was just and then that's really what sold it for me. And then just other things, you know, you come back and you're like, everybody's like, you've changed. I'm like, I don't feel like I've changed, you know, and then it's just, I mean, it's just seeing the subtlety of it and just looking around and looking at everybody's, you know, wow changes, you know.
So what kept you coming, though? I mean, it's obviously you probably had points that you wanted to stop or quit.
No, never.
Never?
No, it's just something, it leaves you hungry for more, you know, because you're helping people and you're getting the help that you need, you know, and it just seems like you get, you know, fed step by step. And it's not, sometimes it's overwhelming, but then, you know, you got to stop and say, you know, stop that. It's definitely like working on each other, because I mean, I wouldn't be, you know, as changed, I guess, as everybody says.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't see it, but I mean, you know, it's like
I
the
do. I
Apex
do.
thing.
I do too.
You know,
Seriously.
and but I mean, it's the work, it's the swaps, it's the, I mean, you know, you're giving and you're getting, and it's yeah, it's just gradually, you know, gosh, how many sessions did we do? You know,
So it's almost
Helping
like you
each
get a
other?
lot of free therapy, really.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, kind of free.
Yeah, it's kind of like a pay it forward thing, you know. You're helping and they're helping you.
No, like it. So I wake up, like I don't know what it is. I love it. It's super interesting to me, and like I figure things out, and I'm like, oh my word, this is so mind blowing. So, what's kept me is just like there's going to be more, and right. I think the friendships and stuff is one of the total best things, and I have people I can be like, okay, I can't figure this out for myself, and I know I just, you know, swap with somebody, and it's so nice to have that. I
mean, me personally, like what you're saying is like when I'm doing a session with somebody, it's almost a novel, and you don't know how the novel's going to
Right.
end. I mean, you start page 1, and you know the last page is going to be good, but you don't know what kind of journey you're going to end up on.
Yeah,
And
it's
there's no boredom
fascinating.
with it. No boredom whatsoever. You laugh, you cry, you laugh, you cry. And when you get to the last page, you say, well, that was really good. I did a good job.
Yeah, so that's probably it. Like, it's narcissism. I feel totally alive when I know how to get someone from something to something, but it's like having a key, having a solution, and it feels so good to be in that and know that we know what to do in it.
Yeah. And I think that's another thing. I know what to do. I know what to do. That's one of the ladies who's had years of therapy, even as a therapist. And what she said, Robert, what is so nice about this, I know a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's a template. It's already laid out, and I know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. Which is, there's actually a security in that, and also it's you can replicate it over and over again. Yeah.
So for me, it's very much having the ability or learning how to deconstruct what's inside myself, and of course deconstruct other people. But I was always searching. I've experienced a lot of wonderful things in my life, but I knew the block was what's inside me. And because I work with other people, you hit a wall, and no one's going beyond that. And so with FasterEFT, there was a real understanding what a wall is made up of, what a block is, what a trigger is, and the skills of unraveling it. So I've kept going because it's accelerated who I am in life. It's given me a huge compassion for myself. It's given me a real internal understanding of how I am. And that, to me, is priceless. And then, of course, within the community, it's not a big deal for me to be triggered anymore. It used to be a big deal because I was like self-sabotaging, and I'm very ambitious, and it's like, fuck, I'm getting in my own way. Now it's like, Tammy'll fix me. I mean, where do you have this? That you have somebody who go, I'm in such a mess, I want to kill my husband, and can you fix me? 2 hours later, you're in love again. I mean, and the thing is, it's genuine. It's not like a fake or a solution. It's a deconstruct. You've pulled apart something, and I think that's the biggest difference. You're pulling apart instead of figuring a new way to view something, and the massive shift is profound. So I'm a technician, so it's very interesting for me to learn the mechanics. I'm very aware there's a lot more to learn, but every step of the way, and I've left many systems like Omar, in the sense that it's like after a while it's dysfunctional and nothing's happening. You're just repeating over and over again ad nauseum the same thing, and someone's promising you heaven and God knows what, $1 million. And nothing's really changing, and it's like, well, now I have to put in time to figure out if there's something at the end of the rainbow. But here, every step of the way has been massive, progressive shifts. So even now, level 4, you've just taken everything we learned up to level 3, and you went, oh, by the way, we're throwing it out the window because it's no longer necessary, because we just do it really simple and fast, conceptually. But I respect that we needed to understand the structure before we could actually,
do it
because now
faster.
inside us, we know what we're doing. So anyway, that's why I'm still here, because I'm actually as interested as I was at the beginning.
And you remember the first time you came and you did a session,
Yeah.
and you said, who is this guy?
Well, I was checking you out because I've been in lots of big groups and lots of organizations, and I've studied. I'm an avid learner. I love to learn. And there's a lot of dysfunctionality at the top very often. Power brings up weird stuff in people. And
Tell me
groups
about it.
create dysfunctional operating systems. And so I really wanted to get a sense of how much dysfunction is actually, I look for the dirt right away, just to make sure how much mess am I stepping into. And I was highly interested. I could see in the videos, you get rid of stuff. I could see someone with phobia minus phobia. And I felt it was true, but I actually wanted to see what's going on. And I wanted to experience it. It has to work on me. So I came to test you out with my wad of cash, which I just made, and I was investing in a lot of money just to check the management.
What'd you find?
I'm still around, right, Robert? A man with problems.
I own it.
But we're all working on ourselves. That's really what I find. We own it, and we have the biggest laughs over our own dysfunction. Where else do we laugh at our own dirty laundry, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I showed up, I was seeking, having gone through a bad divorce. I went through a year of ministerial school, learning all the different faiths, and realized the more I studied, the more it really is mythology. To me, that's what I came up with. And so I was still searching again, did a year of massage therapy. I knew I wanted to feel better, and I wanted others to feel better. I had been in the corporate rat race world, marketing events and all that stuff. So I wanted to feel better. My email address is always learning, and that's true. So I wanted to learn something else. And through massage, I've learned a lot of other healing modalities. I knew about EFT, had the course and all that stuff on that. And so then it was a natural progression, like Michelle said this morning, then to find you on YouTube. And so it made sense. And so level 1 made sense. And all of it makes sense, and I'm just wanting to continually learn, and so that's why I'm here. But the benefits I'm getting from it are definitely within healing my own mind, being able to see the changes in my friends and my family here, that's great. Knowing that when we do have homework to do or whatever it is, or a problem or issue, I can reach out to anyone and they reach back, and that's pretty cool. I have really good relationships out of this, and I feel better about me. I've been in a relationship with a man over 4 years now, and we've not had a single argument, and part of that is this. There was some frustration one time where it was like, okay, I know I'm frustrated, and we decided to go to Lowe's. It was over something on our houses. And I started tapping, and he walked out and went, "Caught you." And I said, "Yes, because I take responsibility for my emotions," and realized what I was upset about was the loss over my things. It had nothing to do with him. And so
Right.
we've been able to have great conversations over that, and that's really cool. So that's part of what keeps me coming. And then the work I've done with other people. It is so cool to be a part of that. It's a dual-sided coin. You give and receive, and you receive when you give.
Yeah.
I think number one reason is because I feel like you genuinely care about all of us, and you genuinely care about making a difference in people's lives. So that is a big thing for me. The other thing, and I talked about it a little earlier, is I find this system logical. Like, it makes sense to me. I think it's very interesting. I was curious. That was part of coming back. Well, what could be next? I'm curious. And the other thing too, and kind of maybe what Omar was saying, you know, we've tried all these other things, but if left to my own devices, it wasn't happening, because it was, you know, that internal threat of, we've been going along this way so far, let's not mix anything up. But with the built-in practices and the way the requirements are set up, it forces you to do the work. Because in level 1, I had a really hard time doing it for myself. Level 2, I started to really work on the stuff, and it just has really made changes in me, and I think that's why I keep coming back.
The reason why I keep coming is because I'm not finished with my changes in me. I'm not 100%. I would say like I'm maybe 70, 75%. So it's a lot more to work for me. I was not totally convinced on level 1. I was very unsure about doing section with practitioners. I saw all the participants that they were just running, getting section here and there, and say, why they're spending all that money? I'm just going to do 1 hour to see how it is. I didn't want to pay for 2 hours on level 1. But after finishing with that, I saw that the changes that I was made in me, I have improved in a lot of stuff. Like, I sleep better, less judgmental with people. I'm able to give more to myself, like I'm spending money on myself and not on others. I spend all this money in this training, so I say I'm spending on me, so that was a big change. Even though I haven't come to the training about money, I have made a lot of improvement when it comes to money, to give to other people. Like if it's a party or anything, I say, oh, I don't want to go because I'm going to have to spend in buying a gift and plus the transportation and blah, 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 blah. Now I'm the first one to buy the gift. Like, I want to be the first one to buy the gift and not cheap gift. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm able to spend more on me and others. I was only able to spend on my son and my mom, but now I'm able to spend in other people as well. So that it changed. I sleep better. The chatter in my head is mostly gone because I was saying a lot of stuff to myself. So that's gone. I complain about other people less because I know it's me. Like, it's me that I'm talking about. So I say, well, okay, maybe it's you. I have a better relationship at work. I'm not finished, though. I have a better relationship with my family member, and I stop criticizing them, and I stop like, okay, let's look at it from a different point of view. It's not all what we're saying. We're just spending so much time just criticizing. What are we doing to make it better? So that I learned here, because it felt good to criticize. Now it doesn't feel good to criticize. Let's just do it. Let's just change it and make it better. What else? Oh, my pain in my body. A lot of my pain has gone. And I did a section with Mark last night, and it was about my TMJ. And I know you were talking about yesterday about TMJ, and I said, pick me, I have TMJ too. But I didn't raise my hand. But I did work with Mark last night, and I haven't had any pain on my jaw. Last night I didn't have any. And it was all about forgiveness. I didn't want to forgive my husband, which I know is me. So that is really great to be able to sleep without taking any painkiller or rubbing anything on my face. So I have seen so much changes in me. I'm going to continue. Even though I want to help people, and I've been working in the health field, helping people, but I think I needed to help me, and this was have kept me here to keep helping myself. Yes. One thing the swab, I love the swab. I'm able to open and not be judged. I'm able to say like what's deep inside of me, how I feel. Like I did a session with one of the, I don't remember who it was. It was about judging people. Like immediately, as soon as I walk in this room, oh, it was you. As soon as I walk in the room, I was judging everybody, and how I was able to work on that, not to be judgmental, because now I understand it's all me. And so who will I talk about that? Nobody. I will not even to my sister. I will not open up and say something like that because I know it's going to keep running. So here I feel comfortable. I feel comfortable. She understands me. They understand me. We understand each other. And I'm able to let it go and feel good about myself. So that's like, swap is the best. And also it's the only technique that it forces you to practice. Because I've been to many trainings about everything, HIV, substance abuse, anything, and never force you to practice. I hated to go to a training and get into group. Oh man, we're going to be in groups. Here it's good to be in a group because I know that I'm going to gain something out of that section that I'm going to have practicing. So the fact that we are practicing what we're learning here is the best that I feel for myself. I'm forced to learn it and to practice it. I'm not just going to assume that I went to class, I passed the test, but how do I know that I know? So this is teaching me, yeah, you need to know. And even when I'm doing a section, I don't know what I'm doing. What should I do next? And then will guide me, okay, do this. I say, oh, yeah, thank you. And then I follow the steps. So it's forcing me to learn. And I thought I'm just going to do the test. I finished and I got my degree. I'm good. But this is really forcing me to know, to practice, and for sure I know what I'm doing.
Plus you get benefits from it.
I get benefit from that, right. So when I was on the plane, I was making my list. This is what I'm going to talk about, so I'm already doing it. What I gain, what I improve, and what I'm doing less. Like I'm accepting more invitation. When they invite me to something, I don't make excuses. Now I go. Because I didn't want to be in a group, even though I seem friendly, and have fun. Like I'm able to go to group, to event from different places. Like I'm not 100%, but I'm able to force myself to go and enjoy it. So I gained that. Fear, a lot of fear. I had a lot of fear, even fear of flying. I have to come here, I have to take 2 planes. So I'm okay with that. And when on this plane, I think I mentioned it this week, when I got on the second plane, they just announced it's going to be a bumpy ride. And I said to myself, let's see how well tapping worked for me. And so I was calm, and there was nothing, no bumpy ride. But I was ready. So let's see how this works. And so that fear is really a big thing on me, being afraid.
Good.
So.
Good job.
I'm going to keep going.
For me, I probably started my self-empowerment journey almost 40 years ago, so this is just kind of layered on top of that. I wasn't always kind to myself. I would beat myself up and didn't like who I was in the mirror, so this has just helped me deal with me. I work in healthcare, so what I've learned here has helped me deal with the stress at work. So it's just been really great. What I like about it is it teaches you how to work on yourself. So many things were systems or just things to do, but this gives you the steps on how to work, how to let go. because I think that's the question that was answered for me is somebody can say, you just need to let go of that. But how? How do you let go? So that was the biggest part for me, was just being able to answer that question. And the family camaraderie here, I mean, like I told my husband, Tammy reached out, I think last week, needing help for her daughter. And I just need somebody to work and help me with my daughter. And the help's there. We all help each other. We've got each other's backs no matter what we're going through. So these are friendships that I'll have for the rest of my life, and I treasure that.
Well, I've been coming here almost a year and a half now, and basically the same thing, similar. I mean, I was terrified coming here, and I used to have this big fear. Everybody's going to make fun of me. They're going to all laugh at me. These kinds of things, and all these inner voices that would, I just had been going through this stuff for years and years. I went to go see a psychiatrist for a number of years, just money down a rat hole, just a big, huge waste of time. So when I started getting sessions with, before I came here for level 1, with Kristen and Nicola, and so I started to work on myself, and they were giving me help and working on myself. And then when I got here, it was time to put the rubber to the road. And when I was at that pivotal moment where I was going to leave, and I was terrified. And Nicola didn't fix me. She didn't. She just said, "You know what to do." And I sat right there where Cindy is, and it was like from 9 o'clock until 11. And I just sat there and tapped. And I literally turned everything around. There's 2 huge memories from when I was a kid, and I'm like, oh my God, I did it. And it was the first time in my life that I can actually say, I did it. Or at least acknowledge myself that I did it. And there are a lot of things in my life that I'd start and then I'd give up on. And on this one, it was something I really was just happy that I just did it. Sitting there with a psychiatrist is just a waste of time. And this is the first tool that I ever used that worked. And I don't say that lightly either. And, going with what Cindy and everybody else has said so far, is you just have a lot of people here that will just get your back. And they're not just going to sit there and pat you on the back, but you know that they're going to be there and they're going to say, yeah, I'm here for you. But that whatever's going on in your head, you need to stop that. And I'm just kind of going all over the place, but even though, but it's really interesting to see how deep and the tools go, like with what Neadra was saying and Tammy, with how interesting the processes are within the brain. And I've had a lot of, like, there was just even going back the other day, this fake laughter thing, and I had to write something in the front of my book, because I said, what is it about this fake laughing? Because I said, it went back to this, and I just put, it sounds so simple, this is here to help me. I mean, it's just as simple as that. Sitting there and getting the there doesn't do anything, because there was something in me that felt like, and it was literally just the other day that I just figured this out, that people are going to make fun of me, that they're going to laugh at me, and they're going to tell me how, oh, you're the worst, you're whatever it is. But no, there was all, and I said, well, then now I have the tools to go inside of me and to really see, to let it go, or to just look at it, be with it, be there with it, and just let it go. And it was really, really, I don't know, I'm kind of going on, but it's just to be able to have that kind of power and to make friends with that part of me that I have been pushing aside and just setting off, or just putting on the back burner since I was a kid. And one more thing, of course, making peace with my parents, which was really good. I had a lot of resentments and a lot of animosity towards my folks, and running away from them, and doing all the stuff. It made me see how it was all metaphors with my folks, with my parents. And going to the Healing Your Sexual Self, that seminar, I didn't have sexual trauma or abuse, But what I really saw was I'm a pharmacist, as you know, but I had a lot of resentment towards my job, and I said, do I want to become a practitioner because I'm just looking for something else to run away to? Or do I want to become a practitioner because that's what I really want? And I started looking, I actually had to look at it, and I made peace with my profession. You know, all this crap that I would say, whatever anybody thinks about the pharmaceutical industry, I am in that industry. So I made peace with that. And when Nicola says, I'll just end it with this. Nicola said to me, do you want to be a practitioner? And I said, you know, Nicola, I don't know. I said, all I know right now is I'm drowning, and I can't save anybody else unless I save myself first. And I stopped the drowning myself. And I can say right now, with, you know, looking everybody in the eye, yeah, I'm a practitioner. I'm going to be a really, really good one. And everybody else here are my lifelong friends.
Because of the massage and all those years, and I've been in this healing world, and a big, big researcher and studier. I used to be in corporate and advertising and was feeling unhappy many years ago. And I just kind of put it out there that let me be smart enough to see when the next thing comes along. And I got that lightning bolt because I was getting massage for the stress in my body that was killing me. And I got that lightning bolt moment that, why aren't you doing that? You love to work with your hands, you love people. I don't like the yuck of schmoozing and that piece of business. I just like the connection. So I did that, and that was wonderful. But then all that stuff starts coming back. What's the next thing? You just know, and I love what I do, and I love my people, but feeling in my own body and their bodies, things that kept repeating. And so when I did see your stuff, I had my next lightning bolt. I knew. I mean, with everything I've tried, experienced, dabbled in, practiced, had practiced on me or practiced on other people, you built such a beautiful system out of taking the best of the best and putting clarity and usefulness to go deep and address those drivers. And in my own case, having taken care of a lot of people, the more years I went taking care of people, the further I got from taking care of myself again. And through this, we've opened up Pandora's box. I've cried more in this year, thank you very much, than I've probably cried in 20. But it's good because what I realized is I made logical peace with my everything, my family, friends. But what I didn't do was correct the poor lessons along the way. And this has given me that opportunity to change my life, my kids' life, my clients' life, and have a new life. And you should change and grow. So thank you.
Thank you.
Since I can remember, I always was helping others, always like trying to find a way to help others. And when I first came to FasterEFT was with the purpose of learning. Well, honestly, the first time was just because I wanted something different to come on a road trip with my brother, and I had an experience the very first day. Robert tapped on me, and I saw a huge change in a fear or not even fear, was terrifying thing that I had. And then I was like, let me test it, and I tested it, worked, and I was like, oh my God, this really worked. I want to learn how to do this. I really want to learn. And it was on a transformational weekend, so it was a level 2. I couldn't stay. I wanted to stay for the whole week, for the whole training, but they said no. So the very next training that Robert had was, I think, next month, and I went there in since then. I kind of been in mostly 99 of his seminars and 99% of his seminars and trainings, And it's really amazing how I can say, or people can see or say that I have videos of me and pictures, that I have changed a lot. And honestly, I believe it is true because, first of all, in my childhood, I never had, I never had compliments or love toward me. And then learning how to say to someone, I love you, you're really beautiful, and also saying, when accept them, because I have both sides. I was unable to accept them when people were complimenting me. I would feel like, no, please stop. But now I just say, I know, right? And I just say, thank you, I know. You know, you're not telling me something that I don't know now. And also to be happy when someone trigger me. I mean, you will know if I'm triggered or upset, but I also know that it's a gift. It's a gift that I'm receiving because something inside me obviously needs to be taken care of. So that person, I just say thank you. Or the ability to say, listen, just you got triggered, you know what to do now. Tap on it. I know that also triggers some people when I say that, but you know, it's for your benefit. And why I'm coming back, because when I realized that this works, and I said, this is it. This is not just a bunch of telling you what to do, what to say, where to go, but this is the how-to, the really how-to, and I wanted to really learn. When I am interested on something, I go head on, I immerse in it. At the beginning, people were telling me, you're a groupie, you're that, you know, I'm just really into it, and I wanted to learn everything, how to. It mesmerized me how I can talk about how the mind works, and I didn't have to go to Harvard, to an expensive university, and pay hundreds of thousands of dollars. I just learned it here, and being able to talk to people that, you know, about how it works, how we create problems, how we can get rid of them, and also the community. I call my extended family. I basically talk to my extended family more than I speak to my blood family. And also my son, you all know about Charlie, right? He knows, not like we do, but he knows FasterEFT, and he applies it sometimes to me. Like, how do you feel? I don't feel so good. Girl, tap on you. You know how to do. And also last time, the day before I came here, we were in bed, and then he asked me, Mommy, are you going to Oklahoma? And I said, I don't know. And then he turned around and said, Mommy, you're not practicing what you're teaching me. And I was like, okay, what is it? Manifestation, Mommy. You know, tap and manifest that thing. You'll be there. No. And then he turned around, and next day I bought my ticket and I came here. So it's a blessing to have kids that you know for sure they're going to be a better generation than, you know, how I grew up. That they are the new, you know, then they need a new name because they are more emotionally intelligent, and you know that you are part of it. That's, to me, is very, very encouraging to keep going.
So why am I here? So, you know, I heard a lot of people say, oh, it makes sense. Well, I've had a lot of training in things that make sense. I was in the ministry full-time for years. I got 2 graduate degrees. I got almost a therapy license. And so objectivity to me is good only to a point. And so when Carla got sick in 2017, right? And she attended the Vegas Heal Your Body seminar with Tiffany. And she went, when she first went, I went, I don't want you to go. I was really worried about her sickness, and I had no idea this was connecting us, me and her, to something emotionally necessary, because our marriage, honestly, has been a big time challenge for years. And we, over the last 3, 4, 5 years, we finally have healed from a lot of things that are emotionally based. And, again, I was in the ministry. Let me make that clear. And, and I am a Christian, but I don't walk with this religious jargon on my shoulder. That's why I became one, is because I studied the scriptures and became connected to it as a disciple. So going back to her, she went to this. I said, yeah, go ahead and go. I don't know what this thing's about. She comes home. She's excited. She starts showing me this dude, via Robert, on these videos. And I'm like, and I'm not this big guy. Okay, I see this guy in this video taking his hands and, doing this. I'm sure it wasn't exactly like that. And I saw some videos of him with people, but I also saw him teaching, educating. And I go, all right, I'll just try it. So I just started trying it. And I was sitting on my porch, and I started just do it without even following anything. Just started doing it. 45 minutes later, I'm sleeping because I fell asleep because I was so relaxed, which I don't get relaxed. Or I didn't. I do now. So I'm here because it's not logical to me. And I know that may confuse a lot of you and go, what do you mean? Systems to me are only as good as the person looks at them, and then they have to take it and they have to design it beyond that. And that's what I see here. I don't see somebody going, okay, plug in the phone, put in the application. There is some of that, but then it's like, especially now at level 4, it's like, okay, so now we're going to really speed it up. We're going to ramp it up. We're going to make you audible. And so I'm like, oh, I like that. And so it keeps me open-minded to learn it and to continue to invest in myself. So, and I've always been somebody that wants to invest in himself, but sometimes it's to the point where I get frustrated or stressed out. This gives me a chance to not be stressed out while I'm investing in myself. It gives me a chance to actually paradigm shift that. And that's helped us, I think, I'm not speaking for her, to better understand each other and have a relationship that's connected, but it's individual. What I mean by that is I can only be what I can be for me, and she can only be what she can be for her, and then we can be together. And for years it was like, hey, fix me, or you fix, I'm enabling you. If I'm going to McDonald's tonight at 12 o'clock to eat because I'm stressed out, guess who's coming with me? She's coming with me. And that's what would happen. We would have these patterns of, just enabling and victimization. And then I would become, when she said, people yell at her, that was me, because I took my abuse from my family, and I gave the gift that keeps on giving. I handed it to her, not just at Christmas time, but every day that we were married. So I'm here because I believe that the system itself is great, but then it challenges all of us to go and invest in deeper understanding. That's what the intentional brain about the brain is. And so when almost like I can't control it. So that makes it more beneficial to me because it gives me more of a sense of investment. So that's I'll stop there because I'll keep going. I like to talk. So
why am I still here? I am still here because it works. That's really why I'm still here. Because we have seen the changes in each other and in our relationship, and it was beautiful timing that I discovered this method and then 2 weeks later was diagnosed with cancer. And I really am so grateful because learning this and having practitioners in my life that could work with me during that time helped me to just not own any of it in a healthy way. Like not take it on and become, oh, I have cancer. I am now a cancer survivor. To not bring it on as part of my identity, which I know I totally would have, the old me, without learning this stuff. And so it's so great because now I don't live in fear of getting sick again at all. Like, I'm just like, oh, that was an interesting experience, and I learned a lot from it, and must be lunchtime. And let's not do that again. And it's fine. Like, I really don't, when I go back to see the oncologist for checkups, I don't have that they have a word for it, but whatever it is, that there's like a, cancer fear, whatever, scan fear, whatever they call it. But I don't have it. I'm just like, I really love her. She's a great person. I like seeing her, and we enjoy our time together, and then it's see you bye. When I was going through my treatment, which was surgery, afterward, I did a lot of tapping when I was doing recovery, and a lot of visualization, and a lot of this work. And when I went back a few weeks later, she said, "This is the most amazing, robust healing response that I have seen." Wow. And so I'm just very grateful for it. It has not just helped through that period of illness, but it's really helped us emotionally. We had started on a healing journey before we found this, but this was like put that on steroids and really accelerated it. And now I have continued to this level because I just think it empowers people, and I want to continue to give people that power, just that you can really change anything. And I wanted to do level 4 because I wanted to feel like I could handle anything that came my way, and not feel like, well, that's a little too intense for my skill level. I wanted to know that whatever we face, we can help people. So thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
I discovered, I was a psychologist friend of mine told me about EFT about 15 years ago. And I went home and tried tap away a mild headache that had been bothering me daily for 3 months, and it wouldn't go away. And just like 5 minutes, it disappeared. However, I have a degree in cognitive neuroscience, and I didn't like very much the energy talk. It didn't make much sense to me. And I think it was 2012 or something like that, I discovered Robert Smith on YouTube, and I started watching your videos and just seeing like the changes you were able to help facilitate in the people that you were tapping on just blew my mind. And I decided that I wanted to come to training. So 2013 in Toronto, I went to the FasterEFT level 1 training. It's just a side note, EFT is in the offices of psychologists. Like, they are tapping on their... And if EFT can make it into the offices, like, what cannot eutaptics do, which has, like, a sound foundation? It's scientific. It's logical. It just makes a whole lot more sense for most people. Okay, so I right away I wanted to be a practitioner. Anyways, I was blown away by what you were doing, Robert, on YouTube, that I could see you do. And then when I started learning it and I started practicing with my friends, every session you can see, like you're saying, measurable results. Like, they start out at an 8, like that's how intense their problem is, and then at the end of the session, it's gone. So, and I just get a kick out of it. It's like it's a puzzle. It's interesting. Every session is new, and I just feel so energized. I can go into a session as a practicing practitioner and feel like all tired, and at the end of it, I'm I don't know. I just want to jump and laugh, and and I can't imagine how it is for talk therapists that just sit there and just listen to the drama over and over again. Like, they cannot feel very good after. That's just my thought.
2 reasons why I am here. 1, because I had the thought, this is what I want to do with my life, and felt that it was the one thing that helped me to be what I've always meant to be, or needed to be, or wanted to be. And that was to be in control of my emotions, and being able to accept truth and live it, and then also helping others to do the same. But I think a big reason why I'm here is because of all the requirements. Because it cleaned up a bunch of my mess. Because I've wanted to do many things in life, but just had a bunch of failure, and you can't do it in my mind. And so
with the requirements, I was able to clean that up, and
Yes.
it's a big deal that I am here.
Yeah. I remember. You remember whenever she was here, we worked on her with that too? You remember?
So,
Good job.
yeah.
It was a different weekend. I came to level 4 a year ago.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I came to the addictions because somebody had just told me about FasterEFT, and I kind of did a little search, and I kind of looked up a few things, and I looked up your website, and I saw you had lowered the price to $99.
Oh, for the weekend.
Because, druggies don't have any money, and so that you lowered it for them, and I thought, well, it will never be any cheaper, any closer. It's only a 5-hour drive. I'm just going to go, just see what it is. So I drove down, and there was a nice group of level 4 people, and then I went home, and I thought, well, I don't know if I am going to do this or not. And then I thought about it for about a week, and then I ordered the online course, and then I sat my ass down in the chair, and I made it all the way through all of level 1 course with 30 pages of notes, and was ready for level 2
Good job.
in that 2 weeks or whatever it was. It was pretty fast.
Wow.
Yeah, because it was now till whenever they offer level 2, or 2, and then but what really kind of brought me to it, why I wanted to do it originally, was because I work with veterans, and much of what had brought me peace in my life was getting rid of my religious upbringing and going into spirituality. But I knew that was not what moves many people. So what I liked about it is that it was a very secular way of dealing with emotional issues, and then it was logical. I liked the logic and the mechanics, and I thought, well, this will work for men because they're not going to go all fuzzy on you.
Right.
So, or with you, usually. So that's what appealed to me about it, and then I just kept coming. And then I went to Las Vegas.
Oh, here you sex yourself. Yeah.
And then things started to happen in a whole different arena. Well, actually, let me just say this. Level 3, I said, okay, I guess I'm going to have, this is going to be I'm going to level 3, I'm going to clean up my, issues with men.
Mm-hmm.
You did a good job.
Yeah, good job.
Awesome. What brought me here to start with was your Habilitat YouTubes. That's what brought me here. What's kept me here is my search for the truth. 40 years of trying to find the truth, because I've heard all these scriptures, and just give it to God, just pray enough, just do this enough, do this enough, do the right diets, and give it up. And I've always known that there's something wrong, there's something flawed about that, and being in the 12-step program, involved in that for so many years, and there's just something that doesn't always work, and I've always known that there's got to be something somewhere, and something that actually works. And so it's been that search for the truth that's kept me here, plus the integrity of the system. And having real hope for once. Mm-hmm. Having a real hope. There's been a false hope all along. Yeah, I hope it's gonna work. Oh, it's gonna work. I finally know that something's gonna work. Mm-hmm. I've had a taste of the truth, and I want to keep it, and I want to share it with all of the other hurting people that I know are searching for the truth too.
Thank you. Yes.
Well, you've all heard my story. I originally came here to clear out and get answers about internal emotional experiences that have bothered me. And I very quickly saw that this process, this eutaptics training system, really does work. It's very effective. I see that it could, could be the answer that a lot of people are looking for. I am part of it. I've done my level 4. I'm certified, and working on my way to be level 5 now. So I'm committed to learning this process, being able to teach it and take it out to the world where people need it. And so I'm committed to that. That's why I keep coming back here. That's why I'm here today.
Last year in May, I went to Greece for my level 1. It was the very first time life event. What helped me to go to Greece was that my soul feels in Greece at home. And when I found out through coincidence that Robert is going to be in Europe and in Greece, I was like, I have to go, no matter what and how, I have to go. So I went, and it's like my mind, or I physically read the email and all the information about the seminar week, but I just was not aware of the fact that it's actually training to become a practitioner. So like it's the first step on the way to be practitioner. And I found out within the first day, fuck, that's cool. I can do this work someday. And I'm already here sitting. That was like, wow. And then we went to the center of Athens in the middle of the week, and we went with few guys. We went by car, and Rita was in the car, and she was all the time doing like, spatial affirmation, and the car was rolling, and the music was playing, and it just felt so good. I was thinking, wow, this is something. That's the lifestyle that I already knew that I want to live like this, helping people, being traveling. This sense of freedom when you work and just fulfillment. I was like, fuck, I have to quit my job. I want to start today. And I quit my job. And I'm still in the system because I could get another job. But I know if I wouldn't be doing this so fast. And I want to do it fast because this is what I want to do. This is how I want to live. I want to live. I want to help people live fulfilled life, travel. I want to teach. So that's amazing of the system that Roberts also kind of teaches us how to teach and requires to teach at some point. And so this system not only helps us or teaches us how to help ourselves and others, but it also creates a path of career and lifestyle. And that's a lifestyle of my dreams. So that's why I'm still here, and also I will be as long as I can be. And level 4, I couldn't wait for level 4 because I knew that at level 4 we will learn how to help people who are addicted and ourselves, and and to help us and others who grieve from a loss. And you see it everywhere. We all have this, and other friends have this, and that's why I was like, fuck, I want level 4 because I see it. I see the need, but I was respecting the fact that I haven't studied it yet. So I was like, I want the right procedures. I want to do the right good job because it's serious stuff. And also, what helps me personally in my life to make a decision or to gain clarity is to imagine how I would feel if I was not a part of it, if I would not go. So I imagined seeing pictures of you guys here, learning all this stuff, and just having good time together. I was like, okay, I was not in the moment when I was about to make the decision whether to go or not. I knew I'm not quite done yet, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna do as much as I can because I want to be with you here right now. So, and also what's funny, like I come from Europe, you can hear that, right? And like a year ago in May, I would never thought that I will be in the US so soon. And I am here with you, and I'm like, oh, wow, what a gift to me and my life. Also, we all love the swaps, and I love them because they help me. I am quite lazy or resistant for whatever reason to work on my dreams. But this actually is a procedure that brings me to my goals. So I address whatever is holding me back from achieving my goals. I address it in my sessions, in my swaps, And I see the changes. I see like the magic of the law of attraction. It's happening. And the most beautiful coincidence for me is that my favorite singer, some of you heard the story, is Carrie Underwood, the American pop country singer. And I've known her for 10 years. I knew all these years that she comes from Oklahoma. And I found like a year and a few months ago that Robert, this guy, comes from Oklahoma too. I couldn't believe that. I would never thought I will be in the US myself and in Oklahoma, and I could visit the town of Carrie Underwood. I can listen with Oklahomians to her songs. I have to say that none of my friends knows Carrie Underwood. Nobody listens to that music. I know in the US there are people who don't listen to that music either, but to me it's funny. I am here, and it's a big gift. Thank you.
Why do I keep coming back? Okay, well, I have 2 words. It works. I was introduced to FasterEFT by Edie Carver in an elevator. I was at a Robert Holden course on happiness coaching, and I asked her what she did. She said the word FasterEFT. I didn't know what it was, but I knew what EFT was. I said, I want to do a discovery session. She came to my room, and my roommate was mentally several loose screws, and she was quite unscrewed at that time, and she was in a nervous breakdown around misplacing a watch. And within 3 minutes of her walking in the room, she had my friend sitting down. She started to tap on her, and she was completely sane and normal and fine. And I went, whoa, what is that? Then the next introduction, I signed up for a class. I signed up for some sessions with her. I was going through a very difficult relationship, was really pushing my buttons. It was a relationship designed to help me grow a lot. And after the 3rd session, I recognized that since I had gotten in the relationship, I had been in the trauma vortex, and that I had been in a state of instability within myself, and that was anxiety was at a high level within me because I didn't know if this person was coming or going. And on the 3rd session, I actually hung up the phone and I closed my eyes and I was like, oh my God, I've been anxious for the last several months. And this is my 3rd session, it's completely gone. So I called her up and I picked up the phone again and I was like, dude, I gotta do this. I want to learn this. I was already a psychotherapist. And she said, well, next week there's going to be something in Oklahoma. I made a ticket. I came. Here he is, genius himself. I was totally taken by the idea that is not changing our behavior, but changing our perception of our memories. And that was a game changer for me. And I saw not only that it was working for me in my own sessions, but I saw it in people being tapped on up in front of the room. I saw it in the videotapes that Robert was showing. And during level 2, I saw some very traumatic, he was showing some tapes from Habilitat where he was working with highly abused and addicted people, and in that order. And the amount of change that he was able to make in a person's psyche in just 2 hours just totally blew me away. So I was completely committed to learning it, and I went through the certification process. I did all my sessions. I got certified thanks to Robert's beautiful heart and kind compassion on my skills. And then I'm a professional speaker, and if any of you want help in getting your presentation skills together, I'm available to help you with that. And I got very involved in that whole thing, and I sort of let my practice sort of dwindle away. And recently I was reassessing that one of the things I wanted in my life was more interaction with people. I work alone and I travel alone and like that. So I was like, okay, several hours, 5-10 hours a week, I want to be having a practice. So I looked online, I saw that there was a level 4. I thought, okay, I'm going to come, I'm going to oil the wheel, get going again, and here I am. And I'm really glad that I came because I've been tapped on, and I've been watching been by Robert and by Clara, and I've had some amazing changes. And I guess the most powerful change that I've had within myself was, I think, at level 3 when Kim and Dave did what do they call that, crossfire. And they helped me deal with some of my very first memories of my parents' surprise and fear and disdain when I came into the world, and that completely shifted my identity, and since then life has been significantly easier. I've been much more at peace with myself and with what is. So I mean, that's my goal in life, is to accept what is, and that's what I'm here to do, and to teach people. So thank you, Robert. Thank you all.
All right, so so since I was a little kid, I've always been into self-empowerment, and I was the overthinker. We worried a lot. I worried a lot all the time, and so I started reading self-help books. Anthony Robbins, I learned NLP from him, and Deepak Chopra, and then I learned the law of attraction. So I've always been self-help guy, just studying how we can get through those the blocks, I guess, and the limiting beliefs in our thoughts. And so I've always been studying that self-empowerment and empowerment. And I love this so much. This is my passion. And then fast forward, I became a life coach. And then I knew different tools, and I knew EFT, and then I wanted something faster than EFT. I've tried I feel like I've tried a lot of the different modalities, and then I think I typed in faster EFT, and I found Robert. And the big thing, so I went to your YouTube channel, and the big thing was you were teaching people how to tap on themselves. And usually you didn't have an agenda to make money, it didn't seem. Your agenda was to help people and spread this, and it was different than anybody that I've ever seen. You didn't have like a kind of a gimmick thing. You take this course, and then we'll give you the real meat. You were trying to help people while you were spreading the word, and so your agenda was to help people, and that was clear to me, and that was so different. And then I started to use it. So I was part of a Chamber of Commerce, and you go to mixers and you meet people, and they say, well, what do you do? And you give them the elevator pitch. And I would just say, here, come on, you got 5 minutes? And I'd take them to the corner, and I'd try to think of something that's bothering you, and I'd try to tap on them. And it would work. It's a good way to kind of show them how this works, And it was amazing me while we were doing it. What's bothering you? And then you tap, and oh, it's gone. And so I also shared it with Luke, who was my teacher, who I got certified as a life coach in, and he was a licensed therapist, and he was using EFT. And I told him, hey man, have you heard of FasterEFT? So I kind of taught him how to use it, and he went to your website. And so he started using it on his clients, and he said it's the best, fastest thing I've ever used. And so he's been again, licensed therapist and EFT, and he's telling me how powerful it is. And so what makes me come back is the idea that I want to do it for me, and I want to help people. And this is the most complete, amazing system that I've ever found. And the fact that Robert keeps making it better and improving it, and it's so exciting to me to learn this. And I do feel it's the most powerful modality in the world. And so that really excites me. So of course I'm coming back, always.
I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. So very briefly, since I was a little girl, I wanted to help people. And that just, as a teenager, I decided I was going to become a counselor, which turned into becoming a psychotherapist. And that was something that I had decided to do about, it's been 11 years now. So I got enrolled in school to get my psychology degree, and I had a stroke the day I was supposed to start school. So obviously that took me out of going back to school. So through the 2 years of recovery, I was introduced to FasterEFT from not only my mom, Edie Carver, but also Linda Esser. And that tapping through that recovery process, I was in a really dark place, suicidal. I don't want to go into all this detail, but it was a very, very rough time in my life. And my dream had been taken away from me, I had thought. And then I started doing the tapping, and I realized that I could actually affect more change by doing this as a career than I could as a psychotherapist. And so that's ultimately what brought me into the system to learn it. to become a practitioner. And, you know, to repeat what so many of you guys have said, I found that it really actually works, and I can help people in a way that I truly believe I couldn't help them as a psychotherapist, as a counselor, and I found that in experience to be very true. So I get to help people in a way that really lights my heart on fire. And I had something else to say. What was it? I went blank. So I like how it gets to the heart of what's going on with a person. You know, you get underneath all the story. The story is just the surface level bullshit that we can all yammer on and on and on and on about till we die, literally. And this system helps get underneath that story and clean up and change your story. Change the story you're telling yourself. Change the story you're telling other people. It's one of the things that makes it so weird to get up here and talk about having a stroke and being suicidal. It's like, yes, it happened and it doesn't matter so much anymore. But at the same time, I also recognize it can be inspiring to other people. So, you know, it's a very weird place to be, but it's important. So, and I'm still here. He's just like milking it. And the reason that I'm still here is because I've found a really amazing community of like-minded people that I can connect with, yes. And that truly so many of you have become my heart friends. You know, it's
like we're not living our truth. We're not living, at least I wasn't living the happy life that I thought humans could be living. And I had stories, you know, growing up about how life was and how I interpreted. And so what do you do with all that? What do you do with that besides giving it to your kids and your loved ones and stuff? So, I hear bits and pieces from different programs and processes on how to heal yourself, but not complete and not logically and not thorough and not like simple. This is simple. You have an issue, you aim and you tap and you let it go and you go to a happy memory and you're retraining the mechanics of your brain. So I love that. That is like so beneficial that it's easy and it's accessible. You know, anybody. There is no criteria for joining. You don't have to believe in any certain denomination or political entity or organization. I mean, it is like simple. So I'm really grateful for the process and for Robert to be able to go through his stuff, you know, because it was pretty hairy, right? No, just kidding. And still be up here and be the cause of change, the cause of our change, my change. So I'm really excited and grateful to be here and yeah.